Now. Stretch Zone is here. Are we? Should I just go ahead and get up on the table and then you guys just start working me, or like how does this happen on a travel basis? That's a little hot, Bill. Okay, Kathy, Keith, the franchisee of Stretch Zone.
Yes, sir.
Here in studio. Now, do you live in North Carolina?
No, sir. I live in Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville, South Carolina. You've got another location down there, correct?
Correct. And then we have one in Clemson as well.
Okay, wait a second. So how do you get into being the franchisee of a stretch company? Like what you woke up one day and said, I need a good stretch. In fact, I'm just going to go and buy a franchise.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So my wife and I are very active, doing a lot of things, trying to keep ourselves real active. And we were just one day looking up stretches on Google for ourselves. As you get older, you have to do a lot of things to maintain your lifestyle. And we were Googling this, and this Stretch Zone popped up. We didn't even know it was a thing. And my wife started looking into it, and she was like, wow, this is really interesting. Filled out some information, talked to the franchise, and were awarded the Greenville area, and we've kind of grown from there.
And now you've got Mooresville and Cornelius as well, two great locations. I went by and got stretched. Miss Kathy, you stretched me. I feel good.
Good.
I still feel good. But I'll be honest with you, I was skeptical in the beginning. I was like, am I going to really feel instant results? And I did. As you know, I have like a bum knee thing going on from lifting weights. And you were very kind, and you're like, okay, is this, and then you move, and then boom, 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 and then I'm walking around after, and it felt good.
Yep.
Do you hear that from a lot of people that come in?
All the time, yep, all the time.
What makes you, I guess, be okay with just continually stretching people? Because Keith, okay, from a business perspective, I get it, but you must be a health nut, I would imagine, in some way, shape, or form.
So 30 years in the fitness industry, so I have worked with bodies all my life. I have a son that's 28. He's not ever known me to do anything but this.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel pretty confident in my ability to touch your body, move it, and feel what's happening. But again, based on what you tell me, because you know your body obviously better than anyone else.
And there was that process, 3-5-7. See, Keith, I remember it. It was 3-5-7 was the process. But Kathy, you knew I was like, I'm getting to a 5. You're like, oh no, you're at a 5. I'm pushing you to a 6. I was like, oh my gosh, Kathy, stop! and so you were very aware of what's going on. So what's it like managing a team of other people stretching? That's like another layer to you not only have to know how to handle it for yourself, but you've got to be able to make sure everyone else is doing what they're supposed to be doing. What's that like?
Yeah. From the day one process of bringing somebody on the team, I try really hard to vet them. Most of the people in our industry have a servant's heart, and they really want to help people feel better. If you have a degree in exercise science, typically you want to help someone, or if you have a degree in anatomy, you don't just go out and use that for crazy purposes. It's really, so everybody in all of our studios actually have that heart. They really want to make people feel better, help people feel better. So that helps me in managing a team, knowing that they all come from the same place and have the same heart. But we just have a great team of people that truly do what they're supposed to do. I mean, they follow the protocol. They believe in what we do, and they've seen results. People get up off the table all the time and say, God, thank you so much. I feel so much better. And we've literally changed people's lives. We hear it all the time. Like I had sciatica. It was horrible. I had a hard time walking. I couldn't even enjoy my vacation. I can't carry my kids up the stairs to go to put them in bed because my pain is so bad, and I can do that now. So. And
that actually was happening for me. So my son and my daughter, they love us to carry me up the stairs. Dad.
Yep.
I can't. My legs hurt. I can't walk up the stairs. Like, yeah, okay. When you're 4 and 2, and so I love carrying my kids up the stairs, and that was what was happening with my knee. And so now I actually have been carrying them up the stairs this week. So I appreciate it.
Yep.
And I got the free 30-minute stretch, but this felt like, I don't want to say an eternity in a bad way, but it was like I was there for a minute. It wasn't short. Like it wasn't like, a free sample at Walmart or something like that. This was like the real deal. So when someone comes in for the first time, what's that process like? Like how do you work with them and go through the process?
So ultimately, we want to find out what is creating discomfort, and what brought them in to see us. Because a lot of times that is long term things in the past. It could be things that just chronically have been happening. And we get a lot of times people like you that have been working out and, they have pain from that. Also, folks that sit at a desk all day and have been doing that for 15 years, they've created from just that process a lot of bad muscle memory, we call it, because they're sitting in a sedentary position for hours.
And I have
for
terrible
days.
posture, by the way. I know I'm not showcasing it. very
You're
well.
good. You're good. I'm not judging.
Thank you.
You just need to come see us.
That's true. That's right. So people come in and they
Yeah,
and
but
all
we
this-
do an intake, so that's super important. Before we ever touch them in any way, we do an intake that is pretty. I did it with you. It's pretty extensive. Like, tell me, help me understand what's going on. What issues are you having? And then from there, we take them through a demo stretch. So specifically for some of the things that they've said, were the issues, we take them through the 30-minute demo stretch so they can see and feel what we do before they purchase a program with us.
Yeah. And
it's a full 30-minute stretch.
It was a full 30 minutes. I can attest to that. And
Yep.
we have a video we made. We're gonna drop the video today too, so you can see what it's like inside the studio there at Stretch Zone. There's 2 locations, one in Cornelius, one in Mooresville. The Cornelius one is right off Torrance Chapel, and then the one in Mooresville is right on Highway 150. And if someone was to want to do the free 30-minute to check it out, let's see if it's something that they're interested in. Can they just pop in? Do they need to make an appointment? What's that process?
So they can pop in. We just can't tip unless we have an opening at that particular moment. We probably likely won't be able to do the stretch at that point. But we can set up an appointment for them to come in. And the demo process does take about an hour, because we have to do the intake
onboarding too.
and all of that. And then the stretch is actually 30 minutes. So that whole process, the first time, takes an hour. And then after that, the stretches when you come in are 30 minutes.
Keith, what were some of the things, like, obviously, fitness, you guys wanted to get into the stretch zone, you came, you went through the process of stretch zone, but what were the particulars that you liked about the company as a whole and the culture that made you want to buy into it?
Well, I think for one thing, when you're looking into franchises, you need to make sure that the franchise itself, the corporation, is going to have the tools and the platforms available, to help you as a franchisee to be successful. So first and foremost, you have to have the support system. And then, for us, as Kathi mentioned a second ago, having a business that positively impacts people's lives is a pretty good business to be in, And so, those were 2 of the major components. And then the ability to, expand your territory, and grow with the company. This is stretching as a business in practitioner assisted stretching, and there's a lot of different companies out there right now. It's still in its infancy, it really is. It's only been in the commercial world for just about 7 or 8 years, and so it's just growing. And if people understood and could put together, the Stretch Zone name with how good it feels, I think that would really take a lot of pressure off some of our marketing efforts, because they would just understand, like a Starbucks, when you see the cup and the symbol, what that means. I think Stretch Zone will continue to progress towards that, because the great thing about our demo and the great thing about what we do is you do feel it immediately.
Yeah.
It's not something you should have to go home and think about. It positively impacts you right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I felt it right away. Radio fam, we're going to take a break. Digital fam, we're sticking with you. We are live streaming right now, still video, WSICnews.com, all the social platforms. Radio fam, again, we're going to take a break. Stretch Zone, they've got locations in Cornelius and Mooresville. Cornelius off Torrance Chapel, Mooresville off 150. I went and got stretched. You're going to see the video today. It's pretty intense, but I feel great. Thank you, Stretch Zone. We're coming right back, Radio fam. Digital fam, we're still here. All right, so we're sticking with digital. All right, Miss Kathi,
Yes.
I got to be honest with you. You definitely have to have the servant's heart to be like contorting people in all these ways. What is there been anybody that's just been like so outlandish that you guys are like, look, we can't stretch you. This isn't going to work. Have you ever had that scenario happen as far as at stretch zone? Like the lunks of, Planet Fitness, but more of the stretch zone issues? Anything like that?
So we can truly stretch anyone regardless of how tight they are.
Okay.
And it's easier.
Say that again. Oh, William on line 1. You want to take a call? Sorry to interrupt you real
Sure,
quick.
it's
You okay
yeah,
with that?
absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, we'll put William on air when we come back. Is that cool? Cool. Okay.
So,
sorry, on the digital,
no,
it's much more
totally fine.
free-flowing.
It's
We can just
totally fine.
interrupt each other randomly.
It's totally
sorry.
fine.
Yeah.
So, it is a lot easier to stretch someone that is tight than someone that's super flexible or hyper flexible.
It's easier to stretch somebody tight?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Because you can control it? Is that like...
No, it's not really about control. The stretches are controlled, but we don't ever push someone past what their 3 and their 5 and their 7 is. We never judge that because I have no idea what anyone's feeling. So, and we don't ever want to overstretch anyone. So that's why we give you control over your body. You have absolute control over the stretch and the intensity of the stretch. Yeah. So you experience that.
And then
and that's the reason for the 3-5-7.
There was like the proprietary stuff.
Strapping.
Yeah. Are we allowed to talk about that when we come
Sure.
back on
Yeah,
there?
absolutely.
We'll talk about that
Yep.
some. I think
Yep.
that's good for people to learn about.
Yep.
And then we'll talk about like the business model as far as just the pricing structure so people are aware and they come in because it is like a subscription, which...
Yeah,
if you think
it's
about
a membership.
Yeah, it's a membership. Yeah,
Yeah.
And you want that because you need to come back multiple times to keep it effective. It's not a one and done. Like,
consistency is the key.
Yeah.
You can't get the maximum benefit if you're not coming regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, of anything.
That's true.
Like you can't go to the gym one time and think, look,
I wish I could.
Now,
Yeah.
look at me in the mirror. Nothing's changed.
Tell that to my knees. My gosh. Yeah. No, you got another 30. That 60 popped in 2. Sorry. No, I'm Bill. We're playing with this.
I would also love to explain the history of Stretch Zone and how it got started.
Yeah.
Because it's a fabulous, amazing story.
Well, that's where we're going to start.
Okay.
We're going to start with the history of Stretch Zone. Digital fam, if you guys want to check out any of the information, what's the website? Do you guys have your own singular website or is it the corporate website?
No, it's just stretchzone.com.
Yep. And then you can look up the
individual locations.
Yeah.
You got to go by. Check it out, Digital Fam. The Cornelius location is great, very convenient there. And then also the Mooresville location off Highway 150. And it's nice. It's quality inside of there, and I appreciate that. Here we go. Good morning, LKN. 7:33. We're there this morning. Happy Wednesday to everyone driving into work today. You've made it. You've made it halfway through. Also known as hump day, as they say sometimes. You make it over the hump, and you are now on your way to Friday. Whoa, Kathy just shot up real quick when I said that as if I said something wrong, and I did not. Okay? Stretch Zone is here in the building with us. We've got Keith, the franchisee. We've got Kathy, the manager, hanging out with us here. I went by and got stretched at the Mooresville location, and it was an experience. I felt great after. I had a little bit of a bum knee like we've been talking about, right, from working out, from lifting weights. I probably overexerted myself thinking I could jump back into it like I was 25, and so I needed a good stretch, and I went by Stretch Zone, and I got stretched. We did a video of it. It's going to be posted today. Kathy, let's talk about the history of Stretch Zone. Give me the background, and how did it even start? Where did the idea come from in general?
So the founder of Stretch Zone's name is Jordan Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, he stretched entertainers, NBA, professional athletes. And his grandfather was bedridden with diabetes.
Oh.
So one day, or he said, "Why am I not Papa, let me spend some time with you, and I want to do just some movement, some stretching." And he did. And his grandfather, over time, was able to get out of the bed and actually dance at Jordan's sister's wedding.
Wow.
So he went from total bedridden to cutting a rug.
All from stretching.
Yes, because nothing else, everything else in his life was the same except for Jordan doing that with him. And Jordan stretched Lenny Kravitz for... You're a little younger than me, but I know exactly who that is.
It's only a number. I know who... Whoa, did you see the shot just taken of me right there? I know who Lenny Kravitz is.
All right. Well, he stretched him. Like, if you go on the Stretch On website, you can actually see the video of Jordan telling the story.
Wow.
And there's photos of him with Lenny also. But anyway, that's such a great story. And so he walked away from that industry and said, how many normal people are walking around with issues that we could help them feel better?
Yeah.
So how can you not be excited about someone that has that kind of heart, that, to walk away from that?
Using a personal experience to help people out.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We've got William on the phone. Let's take the call from William. How we doing this morning, sir?
Pretty good. Tuesday's gone and Wednesday's here.
Amen, brother. Amen.
So, my question is to Kathi. I got an old battle wound. Used to pull flatbeds in my trucking career. Over 10 years ago, me and a tarp in an ice storm had it out, and I lost, and I stretched my ACL the wrong way. Just wondering if you guys could maybe help with the stretch. And the therapist at that time told me, said, just as long as you can stay active, and the longer you can stay active, the better off you're going to be. But in the winter months and damp, rainy days, whether it's the winter months or the summer months, it's like a toothache sometimes. Can you guys maybe help me?
So, ACL, did you have surgery?
No, it wasn't that bad. It was just almost to the point for surgery, but did not have surgery.
Okay, so not a torn
decided-
ACL, just a strain. Is that
No,
right?
It's just, yeah. It's kind of like a straw. You bend the straw the wrong way, kind of thing.
Okay.
Basically, that's what happened with me, and it's okay now, but sometimes it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like it catches sometimes. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it wants to try to lock up.
Right. So, my first thought is perhaps you're, as you have moved and worked around that injury, your IT band could be tight. And a lot of times when the IT band is tight, especially at the knee, it can cause the kneecap to not function properly. It won't track properly. So we can definitely stretch your IT band. But what we would do, what was your name again?
William,
yeah. So what we would do is stretch all the muscles around that attach into the knee. So the IT band, the quads, the hamstrings, and your adductors, and your calf. So with stretching all of those, that should alleviate some of the issue around the kneecap and hopefully give you some relief in that area.
Yeah, that sounds like something that you mentioned to the calf, because sometimes, you favor something and the other muscle, so to speak, will take the weight, the bearing of what you're trying to relieve,
Yep.
So you're getting into that.
Yep.
That might help me.
Yep. And that's called your
The
kinetic
fortunate thing
chain.
about it was, yeah, the fortunate thing about it is it's my right knee, so I'm not having to work the clutch, which was a good thing that day that I injured it, because I had to drive the truck back in. I was over the road, and I had to. So it wasn't my left knee, so I didn't have to worry about clutching. But anyway, yeah, I just was curious to see if you guys could maybe help me, because as I get older, I know it's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
Actually, the therapist said that arthritis could set up in it. Dr. Lowry here in Statesville has suggested maybe collagen, stuff like that, topical creams.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of pain medicine. I don't want to get addicted to that crap. But anyway, it's just one of them things, you just kind of have to try to deal with as we get older.
Well, one of the things, William, is when you lose mobility, especially as we age, if we lose mobility, it really affects life and the enjoyment of life.
Yeah.
So it's an hour of your time to come try it out. Just like Justin, he felt immediate results. He got
immediate.
He got up off the table and said, "My knee feels better." That was the first thing he said. So you'll know after that 1 hour if it's going to work for you or not. And then at that point, we'll show you our programs. And if it works for you that day, our programs are 12-week programs. So if it works for you that day, imagine in 12 weeks how much better you will feel after coming consistently and getting stretched.
Can this be arranged to the Mooresville location, or is this primarily just a Cornelius?
Oh no, manage both locations, so we're here today promoting both. So
Okay.
you can absolutely come to Mooresville. We stretch a lot of people from Statesville, actually.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
we'll get
Well,
you.
I'll
We'll
get
get
your
you the info.
information.
Yeah, we'll get you the info. Give Bill a call back, and then he'll get you the info. Is that good?
Yep,
Okay.
10-4. Appreciate it, Kathy. And
Yeah.
just a suggestion, you're going to have to quit carrying them 28-year-old kids up the stairs. That might help you if you stop doing it.
Nice one, William. We appreciate you calling, sir. We appreciate you. Hope you have a great day, William.
All right, you too. Y'all
Thank
take care.
you.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
And William's bringing up a great point. There's all different points of life, right? Like there's all different stages of life. People are in all different places. So Keith, whenever you're analyzing from the business perspective, how are you guys able, from a franchise perspective, to accommodate all the different walks of life?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We've kind of been focusing here on some of the chronic discomforts that people deal with, and certainly that is one avenue in which we can help. But really, it's the great thing about the brand is that we can really help a very wide variety of people. 14 years old is the youngest that you can come in to see us, just because your bones haven't set yet, and then we stretch all the way up to clients in their 90s. And so it's really good for a wide range of things. So for the younger set to middle age, it could be for athletic performance, it could be for injury prevention, it could be for recovery. If you're working out all the time and you're hitting the gym, you want to maximize your time by having your muscles work in the best way. So we help with that. In the older population, it's mobility and balance, for the senior population. And then, and of course, we've talked about the chronic discomforts that people deal with all the time. A lot of times that's just muscle imbalance, So, we try to tailor our marketing and our efforts at information, to try to let people know that we're here. And, it really works best for you to come in and give us a try. Have a goal in mind when you come in so we can kind of work towards that.
Usually, when I think of stretching, right, I think a lot of times about like bending over to touch my toes and like things like that. But I'm thinking too, like our area in particular, let's take golf, for instance, right? Golf's a huge sport in our area.
Yeah.
So the people that need like to be able to rotate, and all,
Yeah.
are you guys able to do like upper body too and lower body? Is that common?
We stretch a ton of golfers, and I actually am a TPI certified instructor, so Titleist Performance Institute.
Oh, excuse me. Oh,
So
my goodness.
I was a fitness instructor at a couple of golf courses. So I've worked with a ton of golfers. So if any of you golfers out there that want to take all your friends' money when you're playing a game, you need to come see us, because we can definitely help. Every time we stretch a golfer, they're like, "Oh my goodness, I can rotate so much better." And if you can't rotate, then you're missing a lot of yards in the golf.
Your
Spoken
range of
like a
motion.
true professional there. She
Yeah.
knows what she's talking about over here.
And a lot of times there's muscles that are involved in the golf swing that you don't even think about. And a lot of golf pros don't even know about, because they know golf, not necessarily the body, right?
Yeah.
So putting the two together is a phenomenal success story for most golf
Let's talk about
players.
the packages. Keith, you mentioned, and Kathy, you've mentioned too. Are these all corporate put together kind of packages, or are you guys able to create almost custom packages for people? What's that like?
Most of the time, it's corporate suggested.
Yeah.
I would say, and then you as the franchisee really can set your own pricing. We try to stay in line with a lot of the other franchisees, just because for brand continuity, it's good to have the same pricing here as it is there. But the pricing is really based on the recommendation from the manager once you've done your demo appointment, really coming in 1 to 3 times a week, really depending on what your goal is, and after your assessment, how flexible you are. That really dictates the pricing.
Excellent. Stretch Zone, stretchzone.com. They've got locations in Mooresville and Cornelius. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep it right